Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and welcome to Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut File Design Team Hop. So I am one of the new design team members and I'm very excited to be a part of this amazing design team that Virginia has put together. And to celebrate, we are doing a hop featuring some of the gorgeous releases from the November 1st release. I am going to be using the fall stacked frames. Now this one has a pumpkin with some leaves and then these really awesome 3 different kind of frames stacked on top of each other. And you'll see how I emphasize that in a minute. To start off, I'm going to go ahead and use the pumpkin and there's like a couple places where there's acorns, and I'm using these are Vicki Boutin watercolors, extremely saturated. My plan is I start off with the lighter colors and I build on top of that to make them just so you can see them a little bit. And I like to do this with cut files, and I will say I'm definitely one of the newer cut file users. It's something that I've slowly been getting into more and more, and I love having this opportunity to be on this design team because I'm really going to be able to stretch myself and see what fun things I can do with them. And one of them, of course, is just the basic thing of just using some watercolors and painting them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Take a little bit of time, go ahead, and I don't paint the frames at all. I leave those white because my plan, which you will see in a minute, is to stitch. So you really get the idea that they're different frames stacked on top of each other. But first, I'm still, you can see, working on my watercolors here. I start with my lighter colors and then I use the darker one. I try to blend them a little bit. I am not a mixed media expert by any means. So I just kind of experiment and see what works. And some places aren't as great as others, but in the end, it all works perfectly. And I'm happy with how it turns out. I'm also off camera going to go ahead and back where I watercolored with kind of the same colors, just so there's something behind it when you lay down onto the pattern. Well, I use cardstock, but when you lay it on the cardstock, it's not going to show up white. So there you can see that. Now I'm going to glue this whole thing onto this gorgeous piece of pattern paper from Maggie Holmes' Willow Lane collection. I love the soft kind of corally orangey color that has like a creamsicle color almost, and I loved that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, figure out my photo. I wasn't sure if I was going to use the one you saw me use there or these 2 photos, which are of my kids at the pumpkin patch, which totally would have worked. But I decided I wanted to go for a little bit more of a softer feel. So this photo of me holding coffee in front of a fireplace with some of my fall decorations, that happened last year when we were at our old house and we actually had a fireplace. I do miss that little feature there. So it was one of the days when I had 2 sick kids. Nora and Barrett were really sick, and Jackson was not sick in air quotes, and he was going to school. He didn't care, which you used to be able to do because, there wasn't COVID. So now if he did that, I would get in big trouble. But I let him go to school. It was just a little cold. He didn't have it too bad. But with 3 of the kids, 2 of my 3 kids sick, the chances of Sean and I getting sick were pretty high. And so I pumped us full of vitamin C and zinc. If you take a zinc tablet, especially before you actually get sick, it really helps either curb the cold altogether or it lessens it. So a little hint there. And so anyways, that's what this photo is. I posted on Instagram. I'm like, please send good vibes. I'm going to drink my coffee and just hope that everything happens and no one gets sick. And that's what the photo is all about. But it's fall themed, so it works perfectly with this gorgeous cut file. And like I said, to highlight it, you can see I'm just punching all of my holes first. And if I had planned ahead of time, I didn't know I was going to stitch. That wasn't actually my plan. If I had known ahead of time, you can, in your Silhouette software, make it so that you can make it do some stitching lines. It's really just the hash mark one that you can highlight and choose. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can make it work. I just use the one that has the hashes, so it's like pre-fake stitching, and then I actually stitch in them. That's what I like to do. There's lots of different ways to do it. Like I said, I am super new to mixed media and cut files, so I'm probably not the expert on that. We'll see as I go along if I get better, but that is how I use it. So there I go. I stitched in a green and I stitched in this really pretty orangey creamsicle color and then that really soft, almost peachy color. Now I'm going to do the same kind of thing with some mixed media in the background. I wanted there to be something behind the cut file. So you can see I used a whole bunch of water and a little bit of shimmers to kind of help give me that effect. I'm then going to take my toilet paper. This is what I used to soak up my mixed media, and it gives me the perfect color tone that I was looking for. Loved that. Off camera, you can see I did a green border and did some stitching around it, so it kind of keeps everything in together because this is a very central layout and photo, so I needed there to be something. I'm thinking about backing this photo. I was thinking about this one because I wasn't worried about using it. I'm not a big pie eater. We eat it one time a year for Thanksgiving, and that's really it. So I was thinking I could use it to back it, but it was so close to the rest of the pattern paper that it just didn't work. So then I thought, well, maybe I could use this really cute saying and kind of layer it underneath. I wasn't liking how it was falling, so that's not gonna work. I ended up deciding to use some tissue paper behind my photo that you'll see me use, and it's just this nice little layer. So there's just something between the photo and the cut file. It's subtle, and unless I say it, you might not even notice it, but I like those little extra features. But before I do that, I'm going to work with my title. Now I am using for this part of my title, this is from the Simple Stories new line, the Cozy Day collection. And so it has the word Cozy Day on it. And I was looking through, I have a board on Pinterest called Titles, and it's where I save a bunch of titles so that when I'm stuck and I'm not really sure what I want to title something, I can just go there and it does the work for me. And there is one that says, have a cozy day. I thought that just works so perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and do obviously cozy day with that. And then I use some of my thickers from my stash. This gorgeous wood grain one that I have, along with just a gold heart that for the letter A. And that's a Dear Lizzie one. I love those. I struggle using them, but when it's just one letter, it works perfectly. I also happened to find, and you'll see that in a minute, I'm a little ahead of myself, sorry, but I also found this really cute thing that says Morning Pumpkin on a sticker sheet. Now, for the most part, this layout is using my stash. I really wanted to do some stash busting with it, and I feel like I did a little bit of that. I am, of course, using some of the stickers. So you can see that scallop border I'm adding at the top there. That's from the new collection. I love that, how that emphasizes the top up there, and it just kind of, it gives it that fall feeling, and I love that. I feel like that works perfectly. I don't really have that color anywhere other than, I guess, my title, but I just loved how that worked. You can see I stacked a pumpkin on top of the other pumpkin just so that it gave it a little bit more dimension. So that was really fun. And then I'm going to go crazy and take the time to fussy cut all those leaves you just saw me pick up and place them behind all the leaves from the cut file. And again, it just really helps emphasize what I'm trying to portray, and it gives off that fall feeling, and I just love how it all ties everything in together. And to me, it feels just comfy and cozy and exactly what I'm looking for, even though this really is about like, please don't let me get sick. So it's fun. So while you see me kind of finishing all of this up, let me mention, please don't forget to head on over to the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group. It is super lively, and it's amazing. It's so it's productive, I guess is the word, but there's always new content and always new things to talk about, and I love it over there. So please make sure you head on over and check that out. The link will be below for that. And of course, go check out the new releases. They are so beautiful, and it was so hard to pick one to use, but I chose this one and I'm very happy with it. But I do have plans on some of the other ones, so you'll see some of the other new releases coming up soon from me. And you can always check out the gorgeous Etsy shop that she has. So the link for that will be below as well. You definitely want to get your hands on a couple of these cut files and do some fall scrapping with it. They're fabulous. So again, this is a hop, so you'll want to check out the links below so you can see what everyone else is creating. And of course, we're not all in North America, so they're not all fall themed. You're going to see a few that are not, which is nice. You get a nice mixture that way. And I'm just going to finish up with a couple more stickers. I went a little sticker crazy on this layout, but I'm really pleased with it. And I think it was a great way to kick off my very first layout for being on the design team. So thank you, Virginia, for having me. I'm so excited. And please make sure you check out everybody else. Here's a look at my finished layout, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.